Thanks for tuning in for part 2 of our private R.I.P. tour for Halloween Horror Nights 31. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Horror Nights content.
House is the Weeknd After Hours Nightmare. So imagine that you are going into the Weeknd's head while he was creating the After Hours tracks. Basically, this is like a night in Vegas gone wrong. Everything starts to get blurry. You start following crowds from party to party. You end up in nightclubs that you probably shouldn't be at, and things go south. All right? As soon as you walk into the house, you're going to see Weeknd. The Weeknd, you're going to see things hooked up to him. The screens are basically everything that's happening inside of his head. And then you're going to be stepping into those screens in each and every single room. Basically, we're going into a big nightclub. There's lots of strobes, there's lots of mirrors, and lots of strobes. We call it the blinding lights. Let's head over to the Weeknd After Hours Nightmare. This house, we are going to be going to an Egyptian dig site. There's going to be 3 iconic monsters in here. We're going to see the Wolfman, we're going to see Dracula, and we are also going to see the Mummy. As we go into this house, you're going to hear a lot of the Wolfman. You're going to see the Wolfman in the first opening scene. The Wolfman and Dracula have gone to this Egyptian dig site, and they are searching for an amulet. This amulet holds a lot of power. We're about to have a fresh cast when we go in. This amulet holds a lot of power, and you're going to see an Egyptian priest that is resurrecting the mummy, so that way the mummy can come back to protect his amulet. At the end of the house, there is a winner. Every single night it changes, so I do not know who it's going to be tonight. I have not seen the Wolfman win yet, so fingers crossed for the Wolfman. Wolfman was last night. It is the full moon, so fingers crossed. I have seen the Mummy and Dracula, so fingers crossed for the Wolfman.
That'd be awesome.
This house, I will say, the first night that I went through it, the scares, they didn't really get me, so I was like, oh, this is just a really pretty house, until I went through it yesterday, and I screamed a lot. So who knows, maybe I'll scream a lot tonight as well. All right, so let's head into Universal Monsters Legends Collide. So our first house is going to be Descendants of Destruction. The air on the earth has become poisonous, and it has started to kill out the human population. And now we're going to be going here into our New York section of the park. We're going to be going down to where some people have taken over the century-old subway system in New York City. They have begun to turn on their own kind. Some have turned into cannibals, and the poison has also affected them in many other ways. And then after we go through the subway system, you're going to see that they have gone even deeper into the Earth's core. Dun, dun, dun. Descendants of Destruction. And then the one that you're looking forward to the most, Bugs Eaten Alive, is going to be our next house after that. And we are going to be going into Pavilion 33, where it is set in the 1950s, where they wanted all of that hot new technology in their homes. And they have the company called BuzzCon is in Pavilion 31, and they are doing demonstrations of BuzzCon's newest invention, which is the Extermin Air Central Air System. Got that?
Yeah.
It is an AC unit, a heating unit, but it is also a bug extermination unit all in one. But inside of Pavilion 31, one of the pipes has been overpressurized, and it has begun to leak out the extermination gas just a little too much. And when the bugs get too much of it, instead of killing them, it does the exact opposite. It makes them grow, it gives them more strength, they get bigger in size, and it's not that great. Creepy crawlies. There's over 37,000 bugs in this house, but we're here in Florida. It's a tent, we're outside, there's probably more.
We're at 18 houses. Blum twice gets us to 20.
Our last house of the night. Well, our last first time going through the house of the night. So this is Horrors of Blumhouse. This is a 2-part house. There's also the longest house this year. It's really, really good, but you're gonna feel like you're in there for half an hour, okay? The first part is Freaky, but think Freaky Friday if you haven't seen it, but horror. It's gonna be a serial killer played by Vince Vaughn who's going to switch bodies with somebody, a young girl in high school. Totally polar opposites, okay? But the second part came out this year. It is Black Phone. Black Phone, they're in a town, a small town. There's a man, they call him the Grabber. He is abducting children. He basically goes up to them in a black van. He says, "Do you want to see a magic trick?" And he's got a bunch of black balloons in the back of his car, and he uses them to abduct children, and he takes them down and puts them in his basement. Has anybody not seen Black Phone? All right, well, I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit, but it's good, okay? The Grabber takes children, puts them down in the basement, and they take this final kid. They put him down in the basement, and there is a black phone hanging on the wall that is not connected to anything. He's like, "Don't even worry about it, it doesn't work." The Grabber, he wears a mask, so he never knows what he looks like the entire time that he's down in the basement, but the phone rings while he's down there, and it is all of the past victims of the Grabber calling him and trying to help him get out. All right, we're gonna go through both of them. It's a long house, and then we're gonna do it again. Let's go.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same.